I want to intentionally rewatch Supernatural all the way through, just to like, I just want to intentionally rewatch it, because every time I have like rewatched it, in the last few years, I always skip over parts. There's been multiple occasions where I've literally like rewatched most of season like 1 through 3, but like probably skipped over multiple episodes just because I wanted to get to season 4 faster because Cass. And then once I get to season 7, I just flat out refuse to watch all 15 episodes that we went without Cass, because they tried to permanently kill him off in season 7. Then season 8 is great. And then season 9, they intentionally didn't write as many scenes with Dean and Cass because they were like, shit, we made season 8 a little too gay. And then season 10, it mostly just hurts me. Mark of Cain Dean hurts my soul. And they killed off Charlie, which is just homophobia. And then season 11, everything with Dean and Amara is just deeply uncomfortable. Season 12, I cannot begin to explain how little I gave a fuck about the British Men of Letters. And then we get season 13, which I actually like, because we got Jack, and I fucking love Jack. And I love that Dean and Cass raise a son together. In a very heterosexual bros way. Did that season come out before Eddie was introduced in 911? Because, like, I'm just trying to gauge if maybe they took that let's platonically raise a child together from Destiel raising Jack. I'm talking about 911 and Buddy, in case that wasn't clear. Then season 14 hurts my feelings because I love Jack so dearly. Also, Cass's deal with the empty. And then season 15, we have like a 12-episode divorce era with Destiel, which I mean, if the 12 episodes also include some episodes in season 14, but still! Rude. And then they do the bury your gays. And I refuse to watch the last 2 episodes after that. No. I flat out refuse. I won't watch anything after Despair. I won't do it. Maybe you can convince me to watch episode 19, but over my dead body am I watching that finale. I took time out of my day to intentionally watch the Supernatural series finale on the hopes that we would get anything, even just like a minute with Castiel. I didn't even need them to talk about what Cass said and address the gay love confession. Granted, I would have been pissed if they hadn't, but all I wanted was Castiel to show up. There will never be a day where I'm not filled with rage when I'm reminded that they brought back a random actress from season 1 to play a character that no one remembered for the series finale. When they were filming during COVID, so they had to fly these people out to Vancouver, and they had to isolate for 2 weeks to be able to do this filming. And so the person they chose was not the actor who had been on the show for 12 years and was the reason the show got 15 seasons, but a random actor that no one remembered from season 2 to wrap up a job that John Winchester left unfinished. And for them to kill off Dean. And the thing that took him out was a rusty nail, when his final battle in the series was literally between himself, his brother, Lucifer's son, and God. This man, the man who died over 100 times, went to hell multiple times, sometimes intentionally. This man who went to purgatory. This man who killed death twice. This man who survived being possessed by an archangel, which is not supposed to be possible. His undoing was a rusty nail. Was fucking tetanus.
I almost said Tetris. Dear God.
Like, it's so bad that it sounds fake. This guy killed death twice, but not keeping up to date with his tetanus shot is what did him in. Use that as an advertisement to, like, encourage people to get their tetanus shots. Like, I've been talking for way too long. This is why I can't rewatch Supernatural. Yet here I am anyway. Damn, I wish I could pull that off.
Go ahead.
What? I need to tell you guys something. Buck and I are dating. Oh, yeah, we've known for the last few years. You two are inseparable. Years? We've only been together for a few weeks. Then what the hell were you doing before that?
Hey, it's me.
Prove it.
You're a dick.
Okay.
Request for you to not be a bitch. Request denied. Hey guys, I got to be, like, gay 2 weeks ago. And here's the thing. When you're being gay, you don't stop being mentally ill. If you follow me on Twitter, you know this story, but... So here's the thing. Me and the person I'm seeing are both simultaneously very affectionate people, but very terrible at accepting affection. So, me especially, if I get any kind of, affection or compliments, I have resorted to calling them gay. And it's so much so that I have a tally on my phone for it. We counted it, like, a week ago, and it was at 97 or something. I don't want to check, but since I last counted it last week, it was 97 times. Mind you, that's in, like, a month and a half. But anyway, so he does it too sometimes, though. Which, cool, at least we're matching each other's energy. Now, here's the thing. I don't remember what the discussion was exactly, but I was being affectionate, and they called me gay. Now, how we respond varies just depending on the day, time, hour, mood, whatever. So in this case, it was a vehement denial of being gay. Now, because again, we're silly, eventually we're kissing. And at some point, while they're kissing me, they say, "Is this gay enough for you?" Here's the thing. I didn't say this immediately, but my brain immediately went there. I've been a Thomas Sanders fan for like 4 years now. So obviously, when they said, "Is this gay enough for you?" the first place my brain went was Thomas Sanders' could be gayer thing. The beautiful, absolutely lovely genderqueer person I'm seeing was kissing me, and I brought up Thomas Sanders. Thankfully, he thought it was funny, but what the fuck? Ever so often I'm reminded that Sam Winchester is canonically a monster fucker, and I just have to sit with that. I mean, I guess to his cast, he did sleep with a Reaper when he was human, but to be fair, he did used to not be human. I don't know, it's interesting that Dean is, like, canonically the character who would sleep with anything that moves. Like, that was the persona they wanted to, like, perpetuate. But then Sam ended up hooking up with, like, multiple monsters, or having feelings for multiple monsters throughout the series. And listen, it's not like I'm not gonna acknowledge, like, Benny, but, like, Benny isn't actually technically canon. With Dean, I mean. But Sam had the thing with the werewolf. I don't remember her name right now. I haven't watched that episode in a while. And then Ruby. And then he had a crush on that girl in high school who ended up being a monster. I don't know. Dean is supposed to be the freak, and Sam is always judging him for his shit. Meanwhile, Sam is literally a monster fucker. I don't know. Hey, guys. Bucky and I have something we want to tell you. Oh, yeah? Floor is yours, Cat. We're together. Oh? Like, romantically? Yeah. You guys aren't surprised? Well, yeah, you've been together the whole time, right? What? No. Really? Yes! Are you sure about that? What do you mean? Yes, I'm sure. Bucky? Why are you asking Bucky? Jury's out for me, honestly.
What?
Because of the brainwashing? That and there was definitely a lot of blurred lines, even before the ice.
What are you talking about?
Do you want a list? All of you owe me $20. Damn it, I forgot about that. You bet on this?
She was a lady boy, Virginia. She showed things I didn't know. She did it right there, out on the deck with a K-19 inside of my neck. I'm in the hallway waiting for ya. Mini skirt and my go-go boots. I just want you to make a move. So slow down, sit down, it's new. I just wanna get to know ya. Guess I didn't quite think it through. Fell in love with the thought of you. Now I'm choked up, face down, but don't. Baby, why don't you come over? Red wine supernova, falling into me. I don't care that you're a stoner. Red wine supernova, falling into me.
I was going through my private videos and apparently I was planning on replying to this and I never did. Homie. So first of all, I have a grand total of 6 piercings. If you count the earlobes as 2 piercings, I have 6 piercings total. You wanna know which one of them has been done with a piercing gun? My earlobes. Because I was 6. And my sister made the appointment and paid for it and didn't know better because she was 16. She had my mom's permission, obviously, but still. Every other one has been done at a piercing shop with a sterile needle. Because, yeah, piercing guns are not the only way to get piercings. It's just a easily, accessible way. I don't know. Yeah, this comment is wild to me because, again, like I said, I have 6 piercings total. And when I made that video, I didn't even have these ones. So I literally only had 4. I had my 2 nostril piercings and my earlobes pierced. But also, again, the piercing guns are not the only way to get piercings. Yeah, this comment is just fucking wild, bro. The fact that I do have the piercings that I do, and I do know people who have whole shit ton of piercings, is part of the reason why I would make this video. Because yes, piercing guns are very unsanitary, and yeah, not the way that you should be getting piercings done. And it's insane to me that I literally said in the video that you could just use a sterile needle, which is how people typically do, how piercers at piercing shops do piercings, and that just went over your head completely. Crazy. Literally no critical thinking skills here with this comment. Jesus Christ. Another one of those, I was going through my private videos and I found a comment I meant to respond to that I never did. Do you know anything about Destiel? Because no, they didn't kill Cass 2 episodes after they made him explicitly queer. They had him confess his gay love to Dean and then die immediately. They also literally spent 12 years writing this relationship between Cass and Dean. I watched a 52-minute long video essay on the history of Destiel the other day, and man, it was something. I've watched the show a few times, so I also have, things I remember, but this was definitely a good breakdown of it. But basically, the first 2 seasons were kind of haha, jokey, even fan service type thing, especially because season 4 and 5, when Cass was first introduced, came out in 2008 and 2009. So at the time, explicit queer rep was not a thing that anyone thought was going to happen. And then you have season 6 where they basically just wrote Cass having an affair, but like not. Like it's the same elements involved, but you know, that wasn't explicitly what was happening. And then in season 7 they tried to kill off Cass, which, you know, there's this whole thing about apparently the showrunner hated Cass and tried to get everyone to hate him and kill him off, which I don't know how much truth that holds, but that's what I've heard. They had to bring him back though because they lost their viewership by like 30%. When they did, we found out that Dean, while having to consistently switch cars so that he couldn't easily be tracked because he was being framed for like many crimes. And there were monsters who were disguising themselves as people with enormous amounts of political power after them. So yeah, they had to keep going through a bunch of like junk cars and rental cars. All throughout that time, he kept Castiel's trench coat just in the trunk. He kept taking it out and transferring it, and he remembered every single time. So when he found Cass, he gave him the trench coat. All of this totally platonically, of course. And then you get season 8, which is like wildly accepted as the gayest season. Because the first 3 seasons that we see with Cass, it's very much, you can see this from the lens of likely unrequited love. But then season 8, it is very much requited from both sides. They love each other so dearly. They literally go through hell together. And this is where you notice a pattern in the ships that I like. Because Cass was brainwashed by Heaven so that he would kill Dean. And in order to do that, they forced him to kill hundreds, like practice killing Dean, like in a simulation, hundreds of times until he got it right. But then when it came down to when he actually was supposed to do it, Dean kneeled there and begged him not to do this because they needed him, because he needed Cass. And then Cass broke through the brainwashing when we saw the whole time. This was not a thing that he had been capable of up until this point. He broke through brainwashing from a few words from Dean. I need you. I'm with you till the end of the line. I'm fine. And then season 9, they intentionally kept them apart, which is like a whole thing where it's like, well, where else were they going to go up until that point? Season 10 to 12 was insane. Again, they were intentionally keeping them apart after how gay season 8 was. They had to like back off. But then, so Cass dies again. These characters die a lot and then come back. And like, so does Dean's mom, mind you, because she came back from the dead and then she died again, I guess. But Dean is more actively like grieving Cass, despite the fact that he also lost his mom at the beginning of season 13. And then there's like a noticeable like demeanor shift, and it's just like, yeah, Cass coming back from the dead in season 13 was a whole like thing where it's like, this is not a heterosexual reaction. Why is he playing dress up? Like immediately after Cass comes back, he's playing dress up as a cowboy with Castiel. Like this is not, there's no heterosexual explanation for this. I'm sorry. And then, so now they have a son. They literally raise a child together. Again, totally platonically. They just have been raised a child together for the last 3 seasons of Supernatural. Now, season 14 is a shit show, but the end of season 14 and the beginning of season 15, we have this like major breakup storyline that we go through with Cass and Dean. When, again, they weren't ever together romantically, but it's, like, very much, this feels like a breakup, and it hurts. It has all the elements of a breakup, but just, like, minus the fact that they were never explicitly in a romantic relationship. Also, I would like to add in the fact that, Dean, originally, when he's introduced as this, womanizer, ladies' man type guy who's constantly having these hookups. He doesn't have any hookups at this point. Like, at this point in the series, the last time he's, like, canonically on screen had a hookup was like I think it was they said season 8. And the last time he had any relationship with a woman was season 6. On the other hand, they were able to introduce a canon love interest for Sam that everyone was down for and loved. But they just couldn't do that with Dean because it was like, this position is already filled by Castiel. And then 2 episodes before the series finale, because season 15 was the planned last season of Supernatural, we have an entire, 2-minute long love confession from Castiel. Now, it's important to note that Castiel made a deal with this entity called the Empty, wherein basically he traded his life for his son's life, the son that he and Dean were very platonically raising. Long story, like I said, these characters die a lot. But she was kind of pissed at Cass. Again, another long story, this show's a shit show. So she said, fine, but I'm not gonna come until you experience a moment of true happiness. Do you want to know what his moment of true happiness was? Having this 2-minute long monologue where he tells Dean that he is the most kind, loving human being he's ever known, and that because of him, he cared about the whole world because of Dean. And that Dean changed him. That ever since they met, ever since he pulled him out of hell, knowing him has changed him. And then he says, I love you. Goodbye, Dean. And then the Empty is summoned and takes him forever. That was his moment of true happiness. We got an I love you, which to this day people deny was romantic, despite the actor coming out to say, hey guys, that was very much intended and played to be a romantic love confession. But after he confessed his gay love to Dean, he immediately went to super hell. Not just hell, because they've already been there multiple times, but super hell. And that was the last time Cass ever appeared on the show. And they never addressed it in the last 2 episodes. They mentioned Cass once in the series finale, even though Cass had been on the show for 12 years. So, don't at least they didn't. They did everything. And they did it worse, actually. Destiel is the poster child for queerbaiting, and it's for a reason. Because Destiel fans are all in super hell with our ship. Steve, if I die, how much would you miss me? It's cute how you think death will get you out of this relationship. Steve, hey, listen, all I'm saying is I thought I was gonna die before you. Literally up until you were drafted. Okay, fair, but I wasn't planning on living much longer than you either. Oh, okay. So, you're being a hypocrite. Steve! Steve, I need you to get back on Twitter. What? Yeah, what did you see, Barnes? James. PR took away Twitter from Cap. Because of the Nazis. That's still messed up, okay? Nazis shouldn't be on Twitter. It's a cesspool, but that's just not where you should be fighting. I literally died fighting Nazis, and they're still around. You died because you were being a drama queen. No, he died because he was pulling an Achilles. Holy shit, I never thought about it that way. What? I'm Patroclus? Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay, so why are we trying to piss off the PR team, Bucky? I'm scared. Bucky, you're a World War II veteran. World War II didn't prepare me for people who want to fuck the Winter Soldier. Oh no, you found that side of the internet. Of course I found that side of the internet. I am the Winter Soldier. Bucky, what did you see? People want to be strangled with the arm. What do you mean? What? No! Don't tell me kink didn't exist in the 40s. Oh no, it did. What? What? Oh my god, yeah. Yeah. I have my little drawing of Cass just right there. I made that when I was 16, fun fact. What does it say? It says, I'm an angel, you ass. But yeah, no, that's real. No, anytime I try to explain, it's just, yeah. Which people I've worked with can vouch. I've tried to explain Supernatural to them, and then, yeah. Though, to be fair, I've explained worse things to them, okay? Some of them have learned what the Omegaverse is from me, so. But yeah, that's exactly what the experience of being a Supernatural fan is. That's exactly it. Taylor? Buck? Hey! How are you? I'm good. How are you? Great, actually. What's new? Not much. What about you? Yeah, mostly the same. Except I figured out I was bisexual and I have a boyfriend now, so... Oh, no way! You and Eddie finally figured things out? What? That's who you're dating, right? What? No, I'm dating this... His name's Tommy, you never met him. Why would you think I was dating Eddie? Oh. Wait. Oh, jeez, is that the time? I gotta go. Nice seeing you. Wait, Taylor!
Watching the episode of Supernatural where we meet Adam, and every time I watch anything that like mentions Adam, I just think about the fact that when I was in high school, I followed someone on Instagram whose username was Adam is still. Anyway, watching this episode though, I can't help but feel we were robbed of the opportunity of seeing Sam Winchester get to be an older brother. Like, I know what happens. I know Adam's already dead, but there was a genuine opportunity here for them to just, like, get to know their dad in a different way, and then same thing with Adam, and then, like, get them being able to be family. And I just watched the scene where Dean is like, why do you think Dad never told us about him? Because he wanted to protect him. And then he leaves because he's like, no, I'm not going to put this kid in danger. I'm going to respect my dad's wishes, because it's like, no. Which, you know, makes sense. And because, like, Dean's whole thing growing up was he had to protect Sam. Now he feels that same responsibility as the oldest sibling to his youngest sibling. Even though, like, he, up until just now, was, like, not convinced that this was his brother. And then, you know, Dean storms out, and then Sam gets out his gun and is like, okay, I'm gonna teach you some things. And they just have this, like, really sweet moment where he's like, Dean said no. He's like, yeah, well, you know what? I've been you, so I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna teach you how to defend yourself, yeah. And especially with, like, Adam being in, like, pre-med and stuff, there's just so much they could have done with Adam and the Winchester brothers, and just them all three being a family. And, like, I get why they wouldn't do it, but I just feel like it had the opportunity to be, like, super sweet. And don't get me wrong, I do think it's very, like, bringing him back to have him be possessed by Michael, and then Michael and Adam having, like, all they do, especially in, like, the last season where it's like those two are in a romantic relationship. Like, that's funny. But I don't know, seeing that, I don't know, I liked seeing them both, like, actually treat him like family, even for the short time that they did. Because, again, it just shows so much about how they grew up. Dean with, like, being the overprotective older brother, because, like, his job growing up was always take care of Sam, watch out for Sam. And then Sam, like, knowing that Dean can be a lot, it can be kind of overprotective of him, but in the same vein also knowing just how much Dean did for him and wanting to, like, pay that forward. I don't know if any of this made any sense, but I had thoughts and I wanted to share them.
I'm deeply afraid. Burke just got called out by this. Laughing at okay. Okay. What are you gonna... Rehearsing I hate it here. I work in retail! What do you want from me? You know, it's insane to me how, like, actually queer season 5 of Supernatural is, especially just with, like, Cass and Dean. First of all, season 5, episode 2? I gave up everything for you. I rebelled on all of it I did for you. Season 5, episode 3. First of all, Dean canonically says that his best line is, "Oh, last night on Earth," right before he hooks up with Anna, because Anna uses the "last night on Earth" line on him, and then he uses the "last night on Earth" line to Cass. Then the whole brothel scene, and then him saying, you know, "I haven't laughed like that in a long time," like years. Then I'm pretty sure next episode is the end, which Cass and Dean were basically canonically hooking up in Endverse, like, and this is when we're like picking up off of a finale where Cass betrayed Heaven, when throughout the whole season it was consistently brought up that Cass had to be reprimanded and other people had to go in his place to talk to Dean because he had a soft spot for Dean. And they like literally put the fear of God in him because he was getting too close to Dean and considering disobedience. And then even after all of that, he still chose to rebel against Heaven. I'm losing my mind. Also, I just watched Deadpool and Wolverine, and so I'm losing my mind over that too, and it's 4 a.m. Hello, Dean. Hey, Cass. What's up? I know you've been stressed lately, so I got you a pie. Oh my god, I love you so much. I love you too. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You were talking to the pie, weren't you? I was talking to the pie. But I do love you. Yeah. Oh my god, guys. I had an awesome moment today that just solidified the fact that I'm a fucking comedian. Okay. Setting the scene, we're literally closing at work, so I just wanted to clarify. Like, the store was closed, we're cleaning up and just chatting. We're comparing notes on, like, cop stories. How we got on the topic, not totally sure. Either way, I throw in my 2 cents of the cop story where I got driven to the hospital in, a police car, and they put me in the back, first of all, and also the police officers that were there were, like, well over 6 feet tall. And one of them, again, this man's, like, over 6 feet tall, and I'm sitting there in my PJs, came into the hospital, explained the situation, and then sat in the waiting room with me. Thing is I purposefully leave out details in this, because, like, it's funny until it isn't, because, you know, the dreaded question of, "What did you do?" came out, and I was like, oh, you know, I was suicidal. Because, you know, if you call 911 for a mental health emergency, they send cops. So, my exact words were, oh, I was suicidal. Whoopsie daisies. And one of my coworkers was like, "Girl, did you just say whoopsie daisies?" Yes, ma'am, I most certainly did. Anyway, I thought it was funny. Hey. Hi. What did you do? What? Okay, what did you do? Nobody died. What kind of answer is